Welcome to the Homeschool High School podcast, brought to you by Seven Sisters Homeschool.com and the Ultimate Homeschool Podcast Network. I'm Vicki, and I am so excited to talk to a new friend about college stuff. And I know a lot of people are thinking college stuff. Shellee Howard is a subject matter expert, and she has the college ready plan, and you wouldn't believe her success stories. She's got ideas to help you with your teens to find the right college fit and the right way to get to college. So Shellee, tell us about yourself and anything you have to offer to homeschoolers about college and college fit.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me on the show. It is my pleasure. And for your listeners, I want to give massive value. At the end, I'll share several resources that they can grab on for free that will help them to set the foundation for their success. A little bit about my background. I'm a mom of four. So I've walked in your shoes. That's the first thing I like listeners to know. This is not something I read on the internet. It is life lived. And
You've been in the trenches with momness. Yep, yep.
I have, for sure. And I love my homeschool families. We serve a lot of them. I actually have a certified college consultant who homeschooled four of her own boys very successfully. And so she works with just my homeschool families.
Oh,
She understands how to put together the transcript, how to help them to stand out, all of the things that are unique to homeschooling, because you guys have some certain advantages over public
yes.
schools,
Mhm.
and she knows how to highlight those. And so she's amazing at bringing the two, college planning and homeschooling, together. So Miss Christine, shout out to you. But as far as my background goes, like I mentioned, as a mom, but my credentials are when my son came home from eighth grade and told me he wanted to be a brain surgeon and go to an Ivy League school. I panicked. I don't know how any of you parents handle that kind of news, but I did what I could, and I went back to school and I got my master's degree. Then I went back to school and I became a certified independent college strategist. Then I started touring 25 colleges a semester. And that young man did exactly what I recommended. He ended up applying to 12 schools, getting an 11, 7 full ride offers, and Harvard for free. And that is how College Ready was started.
All right, that is an awesome story, but I totally rabbit trail here, girl. So you went back to school when you had kids, which is what a lot of us moms did.
Sure.
And one of your degrees is in college
So
strategy.
it's independent certified college strategist.
That is the most interesting thing. Like, who knew that was out there? You just made my world a bigger place. So,
There you go.
yeah, you invested in something that mattered to you, and it was of use to your family, and then you've been passing that along to other
For 18
people.
years, I've been passing it along. This is my 18th application season. And, that young man is now an orthopedic surgeon, just graduating from chief residency at UCLA.
Wow.
And he is a debt-free doctor, which you don't hear very often.
I don't think I had ever heard that until you mentioned your son. So that is pretty impressive. So, all right. So now we know, got the setting is we've got a subject matter expert, not only because she has certifications and degrees, but also she's walked through it as a mom. So, Shellee, tell us first, our audience, we have all kinds of different homeschoolers. So there's some that are interested in Ivy League, and there are some who just need a degree. So how do parents and teens look for the right college fit?
So it's important to get clarity within the family. And so I'm going to give you a few things that you can sit down with your teenager and have a discussion about. The first thing is you want to clarify for your family by child, because as you know, each of our children are very unique
Yes,
and they're
indeed.
going to have different wants and desires. So the first question you ask is, who are you? And you take a very long pause. And they're going to get a little squirmy and they're going to be a little uncomfortable. Some may know. My firstborn, he knew, but my other three, they were like, "What do you mean? You know who I am. I'm your child." But what we're trying to get at is, what are their gifts, their talents? What do they advocate for? What are the things they were born to do, and the other things that they just really struggle? Because that's going to give you the indicator of what their future opportunities will look like. So having that open-ended conversation, of course, no judgment, of course, just a lot of genuine curiosity. So tell me why you want to be a botanist, right? Not, oh, great, you're never going to make any money. Right? So it's a really important how you absorb that conversation and reflect it back and say, so let's talk a little bit deeper about that particular situation. And it's a really great way to open up that particular child to help them find out what is the fit. Then you sit down with the decision makers and the people who will be paying for this and the child, and you say, let's talk about for our family what's most important: the academic fit, the social fit, the financial fit, or what I call the athletic or performing arts fit. Okay, because we have all of those. And of course, we want them all. Let's just be honest.
Especially if you're the young person thinking about college.
Yeah, they're like, yes, I would like all of that, please. But as an adult, we have to prioritize. And if the most important thing to your family is that your child gets in and out of college without debt, that strategy looks very different than if the number one thing is a social fit. You want them to go have an incredible experience, meet their future love of their life, have a network of people. Like, that's social fit. Or maybe you're like, wait, this child is incredible sponge. We're looking for the academic fit. We want them to go get as educated as they can, change the world with their brains. Do you see how they're all very unique?
Yeah.
And until we know what that is, you can't find the best fit school because we don't even know what we're looking for.
Right. And that's important, is that the young people will have an idea and the parents may have an idea, but for them all to talk about it together, then it can read each other's minds, like out in the open, and be honest about it. So sometimes teens don't have a realistic expectation. I remember talking when I was advising high schoolers back in the day. One of the young people, I said, so what are you thinking about your future? What are you interested in? And she says, I want to be a brain surgeon, kind of like your son, but not the same personality. And I said, so tell me about that. What makes you interested in being a brain surgeon? And she said, well, they make lots of money. And I said, you have some financial goals here. And so we got to looking at her gifts and interests and stuff. She hated math and she hated science. So that would not have been a good fit. And so when she sat down and looked at herself honestly, then she could look at career choices and colleges that would build those choices. So good idea to talk together.
Step one.
So what's the next step?
Step number 2 is you want to get really clear about why they're going to college. Again, it's that open discussion. You're curious. At some families, it's mandatory. There's no discussion. You're going to college, the end of the story. Okay, well, that's an easy number 2. But for other families, they're questioning, why? Well, if they want to be a doctor, a lawyer, a CPA, or an engineer, it's a no-brainer. They have to go or they can't do that job. But maybe it's an entrepreneur, an influencer, a plumber, electrician. In my nephew's case, he's a underwater welder. Wow. Like,
okay.
So you have to be really clear about the why they're going to really find the best match school. Because remember, not every college has every major. That's number 1 you need to think about. Number 2, college is the cost of college from free to completely $100,000 a year. That's a big decision as a family.
Yeah.
Now, if they're going and they're going to have a network when they're done, I'll take my son. He went to Harvard. His 12 best friends meet every year. They will never have to worry about a job. They will never have to worry about ever not having the right connections. I mean, it's more than just a degree.
Mm-hmm.
So thinking about that, child number 4, she really gave me a good one. She says, I want to be an international business major and I want to study in the Czech Republic of Prague. Okay, so do you see how for each child, you really have to get to their why? She
Mm-hmm.
wants to open up an international bakery. That is what her dream is. And wow, that changed the projection of where she's going to find the best fit school.
Yes.
She
Wow.
did.
And what an adventurous child to even think those thoughts. That's really cool.
Well, interesting enough, that was the baby of the family. And child one went to Harvard, UC San Diego, UCLA. Child 2 went University of Alabama and CBU. Child 3 went San Francisco State and now is at Berkeley. And child number 4 goes, I don't want to do any of that. And so she was looking for what was the opposite of all of that. Okay. And so she did. In 3 years, she got a dual US and European degree, international business, for $27,000 in total, and saw Europe for 3 years.
There you go. There you go.
Different plan, different child.
Yep.
That is step number 2.
Mm-hmm.
Step number 3, when you have the clarity, they know the major. They know, do they want a big school, a small school, East Coast, West Coast, private, public, international, in the US? Okay, now you're ready to pick your school. And what you need to do is you first get clarity on how will you determine the best fit school. I have software that I can show a student what it takes to get into any school in the world. And so I can show them the GPA they need, the test scores, community service, leadership, extracurriculars, letters of recommendation, essays, and then ultimately, what are their chances of getting in? Then they have reach schools, comfort schools, and safety schools. They have the dream. Let's let them dream. Then they have the 50-50. Based on all of those factors, you have a 50-50 shot of getting in. And then you have the safety. These are the ones that no teenager is going to go, yes, I'm so excited, right? But it's the safe choice in case of COVID, a family sickness, in case they decide they have a boyfriend or girlfriend they don't want to leave. Like, we have all of these backup plans because we know they're teenagers.
Yes.
And that's how you find the best fit school. It's not just, I want to go to UC Santa Barbara, and kids tell me because it's got the best view in town. I get that, but why UC Santa Barbara, right? Great school, nothing bad about it, but it doesn't have every major. It doesn't have the forest in their backyard. There's got to be reasons why a child wants to go there.
Yeah, it takes a lot of discussion and a lot of exploring and self-awareness for the young people.
Sure.
So segue over to, what do you do and your team as help to families going through this process?
So the first thing we do is we talk to the teenagers, and sometimes they tell complete strangers what they won't tell their parents. As I have found many a times, I'm like, wow, this is amazing. They just shared their whole life story with me. And they actually do what I recommend that they do, because my only goal is to get them what they want. I don't ask them to do homework or chores or any of that.
Yeah.
So I have the advantage of both of those, and I want to put them forefront because I am a parent as well. And I know my kids, my 4th, I paid somebody else, one of my consultants, to work with her. Like, that's how much I know it works.
Because, yeah, and you knew her.
Yeah, I knew exactly what I was up against. So what I like to let parents know is the first thing we do is we help your child figure out who they are, what matters to them, and how will they prove it. Okay, that's step 1. Step 2 is we put them through high school level assessments to help them unpack their gifts, their talents, their advocacy, and what really they want out of life. Then we can show them, based on those assessments, here are some amazing careers that would be a good fit. Here's how much they make right out of college, 5 years out and 10 years out. Here are careers that will not be there by the time you get out of college because AI will have taken over.
Girl, I am so glad y'all are covering that. Very good.
We have to be 4 years, 8 years out because we don't want them to go to college for a major that won't even have a job.
Right. Yeah.
And it's already happening.
Mm-hmm.
Then from there, we help them. Great. Here's a career. How do we get there? Do we need 4 years, 6 years, 8 years, 10 years, 12 years more of education? If so, you don't want to go into debt your first 4 years because then you won't have money for the next set of education. So we're financially helping them understand, bringing awareness of the entire process. We want them to decide if they want to be a psychology major, they need to go on and get a further degree or they can't use that major. They're like, what do you mean? And that's just, I don't make the rules. I just share what is the reality.
That's right.
And that's what we're helping them understand. We want them to know, what lifestyle do you want? And I often will ask them, how important is it that you drive a new car? So simple. But that can be a big game changer if they want to go into social services or if they want to become a CPA. Right? They have the skills for both, but how important is that quality of life? How important is it that they get to impact their world? Do they want to be a defense attorney and stand up for the little people? Or do they want to be, somebody who is helping people balance their finances? Both are important work, but what is it important to them? Then we can help them pick their major, because guess what? Without knowing their major, we can't pick a college.
Yes.
In fact, gone are the days that you can go undeclared, undecided. I don't know. That's not a thing anymore.
Yeah.
Colleges are forcing these teenagers to pick their top 2 or 3 majors as they apply, which is good and which is bad. If they've done the work, we start working with 7th and 8th graders. By the time they're a senior, they know this. It's very easy for them. But if people don't start talking about this until they're a junior or a senior, this is going to be a really heavy, daunting job. We can get it done, but it's a lot harder.
Yeah. And it's so expensive to get to college and change 2 or 3 times there.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's the problem, that generations before, they just went to school because their parents said they had to. They picked a major just because they had to. They got through school because they had to. And then they graduate and they're like, I don't even want to do that. And now they're in debt. And now you're like, oh my gosh, this did not work out.
Yeah.
Gone are those days. We don't want that for this generation. And if you leave it up to your teenager, that's exactly what's going to happen, because they're going to pick a major that is a passion, not necessarily something that they can live or provide for their family.
Yeah, it really is a lot of different angles that they need to explore. So, okay, if folks would like to explore the things that you are talking about with you and your team, what do they need to do?
So, like I mentioned, I have lots of free resources. The first one is, if you want to find out how your child is doing on this path, we call it the College Ready Checklist. Go to collegereadyplan.info. That's collegereadyplan.info. Sign up for 30 minutes, complimentary, get your checklist, take a deep breath, and it's going to be just fine. The second thing is, if you're like, I'm a do-it-myself kind of parent, go to Amazon and purchase for 99 cents. I believe, Vicki, you found it for free.
I found it for free on Kindle. Been reading your book. Yep.
Yes. So I have my digital copy that you can get for free, or my new book for, I think it's 99 cents. The first book is How to Send Your Student to College Without Losing Your Mind or Your Money.
Love it.
And the second book is The College Admissions Plan Simplified.
That's the one I'm reading. Yes.
Perfect. Both of them are there for you as a foundation to what you need to do as a starting point. It's not going to get you all the way to a free education, but it's going to get you started. And then finally, you need to calculate your student aid index. It's called an SAI. It's the first time you are going to see what colleges think your family should pay for college, and it is terrifying. So we want you to know that number so we can help you fix that number. collegereadyplan.info will get you that free opportunity to learn your student aid index.
So for those who are watching on YouTube, we will put those links in the comments. And for those listening to the audio, it will be in the show notes because these are free and the resources are so valuable. Well, Shellee Howard, thank you for spending time with us today. And I know for a lot of parents who are just having to think about this for the first time, this was such useful information. So really appreciate your time.
It's been my pleasure. And parents, please don't believe everything you see online. Our students earned over $10.2 million in scholarships last year, $80 million over the last 18 years. There's plenty of money. Don't let that stop you from learning how to get it done. You've got this.
That's awesome. Well, thank you, Shellee. So this has been the Homeschool High School podcast brought to you by 7sistershomeschool.com and the Ultimate Homeschool Podcast Network. Thank you to Seth Tillman for editing, and we will see everyone next week.